Welcome in, everyone. Another week and another race. This time we are at Martinsville Speedway. After heartbreak last week at Bristol, which saw us DNFing in the lead in stage one, we're looking for a better result here. Now we're qualified 20th, but we'll start 19th because someone in front of us had to drop to the back of the field. The start of the race was calm as the field went 2 by 2 into turn number 1, but the calmness would quickly go away. And lap number 2, Cole Custer forces the issue with myself and Tyler Reddick, making us 3 wide. Lap 39, we see our first caution with Michael McDowell as he spins out in front of us. We decide to pit, and that makes us restart 36 on lap number 41, and we would have to work our way through the field throughout the stage. We finally reach the top 25 on lap 51. Lap 61 sees us battling top 20 with Bubba Wallace coming out of turn 4. 10 laps later, we are now battling Kevin Harvick and Alex Bowman down the back stretch. We're still battling Alex Bowman 10 laps after that. As we go into turn 1, we're going to overtake him, Ricky Stenhouse, and Matt Kenseth as we dive down low. Lap 91, we're battling Martin Truex Jr. and Ryan Newman going down the backstretch for the top 10 positions. We're able to get to Ryan Newman's back bumper in turn number 3, but unable to make the pass as they pull away down the front stretch. Lap 100 now, we are battling Matthew DiBenedetto coming out of turn number 4. We're going to use Brendan Gaughan as a pick and go underneath both of them in turn number 1 to take the top 5 position away. At this point on lap 110, we are comfortably in third as we try to chase down the leaders. We would see a late segment caution as leader Kurt Busch wrecks in front of us, forcing the entire field to pit, and at the end of stage 1 on lap 130, we would take home 8th. The restart in stage number 2 wasn't ideal as we were stuck on the outside, not where you want to be at Martinsville. You'll see Kyle Busch dive underneath us going to turn 1. We get a nice little shot in the back. We're able to do a little crisscross move and go underneath Kyle Busch going into turn 3 to try to take back 6th spot. Lap 10 sees us battling Matthew DiBenedetto for the top 5. He gives us a nice little shove, pushing us on to the outside, and he would take that spot away from us going down the backstretch. We would be battling Tyler Reddick 10 laps later for the top 6 coming out of turn 4, not able to get to his back bumper quite yet. On lap 24, it sees our first caution of the stage as the 9th place car spins out behind us. 10 laps later, there would be another caution as segment 2 would get a little feisty. Things finally calmed down on lap 45 as we were in 6th place and would remain quite calm up until lap 82 when we get our first scare of the race as we get loose off of turn number 2. We'll collect the 78. No caution would fly. We wouldn't DNF, and we get back rolling here. 10 laps later, we've caught back up to the field as we're battling Tyler Reddick and Brad Keselowski for the top 10 in traffic. We would be doing this a lot in the stage once we caught up to the field. 10 laps later, we've dropped a couple spots, and we're now battling Ricky Stenhouse to try to get back into the top 10, but unable to make the pass coming out of turn number 4. We get to the back of Josh Bilicki, who is a lap car at this point, as we try to get underneath Ricky Stenhouse for the top 10. 127, the end of the stage, would see us run out of fuel, but no harm, no foul. The final stage was kind of calm up until Ricky Stenhouse Jr. spun in front of me and Chase Elliott, collecting Chase Elliott because the AI can't control itself. The restart here would get crazy as it's lap 282. Watch Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson's going to go make it 3 wide on Matt Kenseth and Brad Keselowski. I'm going to go underneath Brad Keselowski, not be able to make the pass, but this sets me up for the pass into turn number 3. As I force the issue 3 wide, I'm able to clear the 2 and sit comfortably in 7th spot. A few laps later, I have lost those spots, dropping back to 10th, and I'm now battling Matt Kenseth and Brad Keselowski, along with Kevin Harvick, to remain in the top 10 as we're also battling lap traffic. As I dive into turn number 1, Kenseth gets a little loose, but I'm not able to take advantage as I'm still comfortably in 10th coming out of turn number 2. Lap 358, we are battling for the top 5 with Kyle Busch, and this would see a caution. Now, this is where the entire field would pit, thinking this would be the last caution and pit stop of the race. However, a few laps later, as we're in third, another caution flies, and I'm left with a decision. I decided to pit because I was very close on fuel and didn't want to risk it. This forced me to drop back to ninth spot, which, looking back, could have been a lot worse as we restart here on lap 413. On lap 464, the entire field in front of us would get a scare as Chad Fincham blows up on the backstretch, causing cars to slow down and scramble. No caution would fly, and we would keep our foot on the gas as we passed Joey Gase going into turn number 3. Here is the battle for the lead with 21 to go. I'm battling Denny Hamlin down into turn 1. I use Chris Buescher as a little bit of a pick to try to clear Hamlin, but Hamlin battles back on the outside down the backstretch. I would use the 36 car of David Reagan as a pick in turn number 3 to get by Hamlin, but the battle here would not be over. As Reagan and Hamlin come back down the front stretch, I'm able to dive into turn 1 and here would be able to pull away and get a little bit of a cushion down the backstretch from the field. Last lap of the race would be quite comfortable as the only people standing in front of me in victory was the field. And finally, after so many attempts of completing a short track, we get the grandfather clock for our first ever victory at Martinsville Speedway. Next week, however, it's not going to be that easy as we take on Talladega for the Geico 400.